From the group who brought you Ay Dios mío comes an investigative report about the alleged 1980s gang called the Smurfs. During the 1980s, there were rumors about some gang members who were called the Smurfs. Their name alone struck fear in the hearts of children across the south side of Houston, Texas. During their reign, rumor had it that these Smurfs hid on school buses waiting to beat up kids, called in bomb threats, loitered in bathroom stalls, and even kidnapped and beat up school principals. In 2005, a friend and I shared personal stories about the Smurfs. That conversation led to me wanting to explore this whole idea of the Smurfs. Were the Smurfs ever real? Or just urban legends like El Cucuy, Bloody Mary, and Michael Jackson having sex with Brooke Shields? I decided to conduct my investigation in the neighborhood that allegedly bred the Smurfs, the village of Hiram Clark. In the 80s, Hiram Clark was a mostly African village. It was named after Sir Hiram Clark because he brought what the villagers came to know as electricity. The villagers who roamed here during the decade were very conceited people. I recall them inventing this dance and calling it the Hiram Clark. Years later, I found out that the rest of the world called this same dance the Roger Rabbit. The Clark, as the village was referred to by its hip-hop inhabitants, was home to many extraordinary things, like brisket on buns, French roll and fade parlors, and corner stores. But apparently all was not hell tacos and snow cones in the village. Floating around the village was this gang of Madison High School students, so we heard, who were skilled in the arts of slap boxing, shouting, "That's my car!" and thump. Their MO was invisibility. Here are some interviews and rare footage that leave us to decide if the Smurfs gang was that of fact or fiction. Have you ever heard of a gang called the Smurfs?
You mean the cartoons?
No, not the cartoons. These were real life people who were in a gang.
That's like an urban myth. That doesn't exist. The Smurfs. That's not real. It's like the female orgasm or unicorns. It doesn't exist.
You think so? Because they allegedly terrorized kids at all the schools across the south side.
Oh yeah, who are their rivals? Fraggle Rock? Get out of here.
Well, you know what? That intrigues me because most people I know have heard of the Smurfs. How is it that you haven't?
Because I only deal with real gangsters.
What side of town are you from?
North side.
That's the problem. That's a wrap.
Today at Montgomery Elementary School, located on Simsbrook Drive, students refused to line up and go to the bathroom because the Smurfs gang was supposedly hiding in the bathroom stalls, waiting to stab anyone not wearing blue and white. Students could be seen all day ripping their crotches. By the last school bell of the day, there was not one eyewitness to any attacks. Intriguing. Here's a student. Let's see what she can tell us. Can you give us any details about the Smurfs gang attacks?
All I know is that we were at lunch chilling, and this perpetrator came over talking about some, have you heard about these Smurfs and how they jumping people? And we were like, hell no, get away from our table. Ugh.
What's that in your hand?
Pickle juice. Why?
Back to you.
I spent my youth in Hiram Clark. Let me tell you, it was an arduous trek from Hiram Clark all the way to Broward University. When I got there, my feet looked like monkey paws. But I digress. I remember being stricken with a paralyzing fear when I first heard of the Smurfs' pending arrival at Dowling. The year was 1985, I believe. I knew that I'd better put both straps of my backpack firmly upon my shoulders and run like hell when the closing bell rang.
Thank you.
You're welcome, madam.
This just in. The Smurfs gang has struck again. A young man was attacked after being chased down West Fuquay to Player Street. When asked for details about the suspects, the young man replied, "I was walking home from school. I heard some ominous music. I looked back and these shadows started beating me down." Wow. That poor bastard. It looks like someone needs to take some of Bruce Leroy's classes.
Is it true that you are a former member of the Smurfs gang?
Man, what the hell kind of question is that, fool? Actually, the real question is, where's my goddamn disability check? Shit, I gotta pay for my room with sweeties up in this bitch, man.
Continuing our coverage of the notorious, yet still unidentifiable Smurfs gang, we've received a flood of phone calls about trails of blue stains and sassafras leaves along Hiram Clark Road. What's this? A dead body has been reported on White Heather. The arm was tagged with BMG for life. What does it all mean?
Rumors of the Smurfs gang's reign of terror spread from Hiram Clark to other Southside villages such as Mo City, South Park, 3rd Ward, and even Pasadena. Things got so bad that children had stopped going to the corner stores to buy pickles and peppermint sticks. Interestingly enough, there were no reports of the Smurfs wreaking havoc on the north side of Houston. I heard that it rained a lot on the north side. And the rain was not in the form of water. Apparently, it fell in droplets of stay-free Jerry curl juice. You can't effectively attack people when you are slipping and sliding in curl juice. I was able to track down a Mexican villager about the Smurfs gang phenomenon. I was excited to find him because Southside Mexican villagers were rare in the 80s. I think there were only about 3 of them at that time.
No, I keep hearing like the Smurfs came from Madison and shit. They ain't come from Madison. Everybody knows they came from Willow Ridge, you know? Here's my thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, these people didn't even have like a driver's license or anything like that. So how are they gonna be jumping motherfuckers? On the metro? Come on. Real talk, you know, here it is. You know, I heard some of them were trying to be gangsters and stuff. You know, they stole a couple of things, but shit. I heard some of them work for HBD. Smurfs. Motherfuckers running in their house. Smurfs are coming. Bullshit is that?
After conducting those interviews and viewing archival footage, I was still scratching my head. With all of the reports of Smurfs gang attacks, no one could actually describe what these gang members looked like. They were prevalent during my years in elementary and middle school, but once I got to high school, I no longer heard rumors about the Smurfs. So what happened to them? Did they go to juvie? And how egregious could these dudes have been if they were in high school, but they were jumping kids in elementary and middle school? And why in the hell were we running sight unseen? There are still so many unanswered questions roughly 20 years later. Maybe the real story is not even about a gang. Maybe the real story is about the jerk-offs who were yelling, "The Smurfs are coming!" Did they really see anybody? Or did they get their kicks from watching us run around like some fools? Finally, all of this talk about the Smurfs led to an extremely random thought. Where were Big Papa Smurf and Smurfalette when this alleged madness was going down?